up?
What's up?
All right. Show's over. See y'all later. Nobody showed up.
Bye, guys.
Nope. The gang's going to all be drifting on here, I'm sure, shortly. Nord, evening. Rich, evening. Chuck, evening. What else we got here? Mark, evening.
Well, we got no good evening for McMurray.
Yeah, no, it's not a good evening yet.
Till
you get the show and stuff. So
see.
Murray's got a bunch of toys, and I got a couple new toys that he and the wardrobe sent me. So we're just gonna goof around tonight. Nothing serious here. If y'all want to fire any questions, fire the questions. If you want to ask anything, Tim, how you doing, buddy? And we'll try to answer you in our most nonsensical manner because we're good at that.
Very much so.
So let me double this up here. We're waiting for old Not Jay to join us, which will be interesting because I don't think Chris has ever been on one of my hosted shows. Well, usually we don't do something that's up Chris's alley. That's why. So
I don't know if we're doing something right now.
We might not be doing something right now, but Chris will always have a question or two to ask. So McMurray's been wearing a lot of moccasins and stuff.
I have.
Speaking French and
shooting flintlocks and whatnot.
Yeah, so let's see what you got there. Bring that thing out and give us a description.
All right. Well, we'll start out with Strategy and Tactics 340, the new one, May, June 2023, for French and Indian War battles. The map for this is really pretty, actually. Like, I was quite happy with how the map looks here. So you got 3 engagements here: Lake George, Battle for Quebec, and Fort Oswego up here, which I'll show you in a second.
Wait a minute, this all came in a magazine with all these maps?
It's up in the corner. Yeah.
Wow.
This is the magazine game for Strategy and Tactics this month. The one thing that chaps my ass to no end about this is they just got shit pointing every which direction.
Right.
All of your hexes are labeled this side up. Your text on your maps is labeled that side up. Some of it is this way, some of it's this way. Some of the turn tracks are this side up. Your tables that you can see here are this side up, but then you got other turn tracks that are this way and turn tracks that are this way. And you've got artillery ranges and whatnot that are this way. And it's just, I wish that at the very least they would have the tables and the hex numbers the same way up, because doing this with the hex numbers is ridiculous. Because not only are they, descending this way, but then you don't start here and get higher. So this isn't, hex 01.
Mark G's from Quebec City. Is that Quebec City on the map?
Mark
Gauthier on the chat here.
Yeah. There you go, Quebec City right here. But so that's a little frustrating, but that's fine. Whatever. The maps are very visually appealing, if slightly frustrating. I have not played this yet. I did punch and clip everything.
Right.
Got it bagged up. I'm set up to play Lake George. I got that stuff sitting off on the side here. The counters are pretty simple. I like them.
I get lost on this stuff because I don't know much about the French and Indian War. Was any of this fought in the United States?
Yeah, actually, I played a game of the next one in Pennsylvania, right by you at Gettysburg. But hang on. So Quebec is obviously not in the U.S., right? Lake George, I believe, is in New York. Somebody's going to correct me on this, I'm sure. And Fort Oswego, that's the Oswego River, and Lake Ontario, that's pointing this way. So that's obviously in the U.S. as well, if that's on the south side of Lake Ontario.
Huh.
Yeah, lots of stuff in Pennsylvania, New York, that area, right around the, because this is 50s, 60s. So there hasn't been a whole lot of westward expansion yet. The rules for this bad boy, I'm not super familiar with strategy and tactics like magazine games, but they seem pretty simple. A little bit more involved than our next game, but still relatively simple, not too bad to follow. This game was designed by Joseph Miranda, and the map was done by Joe Yost.
Really? Joe Yost did that?
Yeah.
Mr. Goss himself.
Yep. But yeah, so it's a decision games, production obviously being in strategy and tactics.
A lot of people don't like them, but I think they make a lot of great, especially the magazine games. They make a lot of great little magazines.
Oh man. So you can actually pull the rules out of this damn magazine, which is pretty slick.
Right.
That's
the purpose of the French and Indian War.
What?
What was the purpose of the French and Indian War?
It was kind of the North American theater of the 7 Years' War, right? So you've got the French and the British fighting, and then here they had colonies right next to one another, so you just kind of have natural conflict here. I hadn't even seen this, but that's cool that you can, just remove the rules. That's pretty slick.
So you said you played 2 or 3. Where's the combat resolutions chart? Does it have a combat resolution?
I have not played 2 or 3 games of this one yet.
Oh, okay.
I played 2 or 3 of the next game.
Oh, okay.
There's only the 3 engagements in this one. Lake George, Fort Oswego, and Quebec.
Chuck wants to know if you're going to play all 3 at the same time.
Not at the same time, Chuck. I will play all 3 easily, but I will not play all 3 at the same time. That'd be cool, but not quite, man, not quite. With this being a Decision Games product, I was thinking it might have followed one of their Folio game series, like kind of rules. It seems similar to them, but not quite in one of those systems. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, that's fine. I'm pretty happy about this actually. But so CRT, I don't know if it's in here or if it's only on the map actually. I did notice that there's obviously no player age sheets in here. But the map does seem to have most of the see, so it does not appear that there's a CRT, but they do again. So Jeffy, that'd be the nice thing here is you get this, but then you'd also have there's a whole lot of obviously not that, but there's a whole lot of background in here as well,
right?
Which is kind of cool. So,
I keep getting my emails about the War Diary magazine to make sure that they keep trying to get me to get that back again. They don't put a game in there, but they do put a lot of good articles and stuff in there. But I like this. So my first, I've seen S&Ts over the year, but the game I'm playing right now, the Kursk game, Rich was kind enough to stick the S&T or Moves magazine thing in there that had a bunch of nice little articles and stuff on it, which is really, really cool.
I was going to say, I just saw this. We have a following game in the works, Battles of Andrew Jackson, which will cover 2 of his battles in the War of 1812, which should be interesting. So I'll probably wind up with that issue of this as well. But let me pull that CRT out here for you. There's the terrain effects chart, which is friggin' colossal. For no apparent reason. It's just in giant font. Here's the CRT, though.
Okay.
So you've got attacker, eliminated, attacker, retreat,
the old games.
Kind of the normal stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm familiar with that. But yeah, so again, kind of like the normal decision game stuff, you do have like artillery bombards instead of shifting, and it's its own bombardment thing, which is kind of cool. Again, I'm used to that from some of the decision game stuff that I played in the Folio series. So there's not I haven't played through here to give you guys a review, but it looks like it's right on that same sort of folio game. Not necessarily mini folio simplicity, but some of the folio games,
Right.
which is perfect. So
what's the unit size? What's the map scales?
Scale on each of them is hex to 100 yards.
100 yards, really?
Yep.
That's tactical.
Not necessarily. It's just, battles tended to be a little more compact. Think about it. You can cram a lot of guys in 100 yards.
Well, okay, so how far are you shooting a flintlock in that game?
One hex.
No. One, yeah, well, okay.
Hex to hex. Hex to hex.
Yeah, that was I was leading into that.
Yeah. In terms of the size of the units on the hexes, I think they're right around like a battalion size. Let's see here, because I think you've got so you got first, second, and third battalions of a Massachusetts regiment here. It does change, I believe, based on each game.
That is tactical level. Those are battalions. Ig, how you, buddy? Yeah, this will be the second time in a row that I have talked about going up to that thing, and I know Mo's going to be up there, and it wouldn't take me long. Well, wouldn't take me a god awful long time to drive up there, but
yeah. So each counter is either a pair of companies or a battalion. So,
all right, how many men in one of them things?
Each combat strength point can represent between 4 to 150 men. So this could be anywhere from 120 to 450 guys.
Wow.
In that 3 strength. But that's not a
Dev, good evening.
But yeah, so that's pretty slick. I'm looking forward to playing this. Should be pretty outstanding and a whole lot of fun. Devin, stick around. Stick around. We're moving to you guys next. So there we go. Actually, this is Map Graphics Todd Davis, not Joe Yost. In the book, it said Joe Yost. Here it says Todd Davis.
The map graphics, not the map.
Oh, okay, there you go. But anyways, so there we go. Like I said, the counters are pretty simple. I like that. There's not 80 gajillion different values on there. But, all right, so that is Strategy and Tactics 340. We got French and Indian War battles. Really looking forward to playing this. It's probably going to be on my table next, if not second to next. The next one in our little lineup here, and Devin, you're going to appreciate this one.
Hey, Joe, Stuka Joe. Glad to see you visit here, Joe.
There it is. I found it, Devin. I found it. This isn't you on the front, I know, but that's okay. I forgive him.
I don't know. That guy on the right cut a little bit of his hair off when you got him.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So we got Bloody Mohawk from Lock and Load Publishing. I played a game based on this game, converted to miniatures on a hex map last month. Said, man, okay, I want to find a copy of this. Realized that was not the easiest.
Yes, you were giving us gray hair, wearing us out about wanting to find this game.
But I found one.
You did. And Dev, you said you found what? Dev, you told me last night. You said y'all found 5 free copies of this that you were going to send him, but he doesn't need them now.
Shut up, Jeff. All right. Yeah. Again, sorry, Devin. I know I jumped after I asked you guys about it, and then I kind of had to jump on this one because I wasn't able to find one. Then this one popped up, and so I had to take that risk of, well, Devin might find one. That'd be awesome. But if he doesn't find one, Lord knows when I'll see this thing up again. So who knows?
Yeah, he did, and he's already played all the scenarios, Dev.
I've played 3 of the scenarios. 3 of the scenarios. Not huge scenarios, but 3 of the scenarios. Here's the rule book or the manual. In terms of rules, we've got you know, 6-7 pages, something like that. It's pretty good.
Yes.
Not too difficult. Good for a simple-minded fool like myself. But then you do have 12 different scenarios, each with their own independent map. And, you know, special rules. Some of them have more special rules than others. Some of them are substantially sized. We got the Plains of Abraham here. So, yeah. And here, again, I think that the excuse me. I'm pretty sure the size of the units is abstracted depending on what game you're playing. So,
okay, so different ones. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. That being said, it's not super duper defined, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. The maps in here, yeah, you can tell. So Jeff will show you guys a game a little bit later that I sent to him where I used up all of my good baggies. So now I have to use my sandwich baggies. But that's okay. Here is the play aid, and that really is just about all you need. A turn sequence would have been cool, but it's pretty simple once you get a hold of it. So there you go. And here are all of the maps. So they're front and back. This one here, Jeff, Jumonville Glen. It's kind of the first engagement of the war in and of itself. It involves George Washington. Cool stuff. The Mary Jemison raid, this is what I meant. This is what I was telling you about. This occurred right around Gettysburg, what is now Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
No way. Don't talk to me with those stories.
In what is now Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, a young 16-year-old girl and her family were captured by a small band of French and Indians.
Get the hell out of here.
You calling Devin a liar?
Now, when I go up there, I'm going to be sequestering all those guys if they know anything about this stuff.
As you should be. So we can actually just run through the things here. So again, Jumonville Glen, played this one. It's George Washington, pretty simple. Fort Necessity, this is one that I've actually wanted to kind of play in miniatures for a long time because I want to build Fort Necessity as a centerpiece to a table.
Right.
So it should be pretty simple. Just a little stockade fort.
Now, Joe, now we're going to try to get him to buy that game too, Joe, because I've been seeing the Facebook stuff all over the place for that.
What game's that?
Bill Molyneux's French and Indian War battle game that he just published last year.
I know. I think he wrote this damn game. Or at least he talks like he wrote this game.
Well, say it.
I think he had a hand in it. It doesn't say who wrote it anyway.
Oh, yeah. It says it is one of Bill's early titles.
Yeah. I did back his Kickstarter for a Zulu game, Horns of the Buffalo, so that should be fun. We got Braddock's Defeat, so everybody knows.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody
That's the only story
that's in Maryland.
Is about Braddock.
What's up?
That's the only person I know from anything you've said in there is Braddock.
You didn't recognize George Washington?
Oh, GW, yeah, well, we know all about him.
But yeah, so this is in Maryland.
We had the same dentist.
Yeah, I know. I did play Battle of Lake George, so that was cool to play this Battle of Lake George, and then I'll be playing Battle of Lake George in the Strategy and Tactics. I'm telling you that's going to be
I want to see the map. Show me the map of Lake George.
More involved. Hang on, they're double-sided. It might take
Yeah, I want to see that map, and I want to see the map from the other game laid next to it. Oh, you just locked up, didn't you? There you are.
There's Lake George.
All right, now get the map from that other game.
So it's only got a chunk of Lake George down corner. Which one?
For the one you had out just a minute ago, the game before that.
Oh, Jesus.
Just pull the Lake George map out and lay it beside it.
It's one whole map. It's the whole map.
I can get a general idea.
God, man alive, you are demanding.
You know what? Gotta keep the lights on.
So it's shifted southwards a little bit, but same idea.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, buddy.
Good business with you.
But anyways, all right. So
I got to admit that is kind of cool with the map boards like that.
it is.
That looks like something I could throw out on my desk at lunch.
Absolutely. Got Cycling Hill. Again, this is Pennsylvania. So there you go, Jeffy. There's another one that's close to you. Fort William Henry. Any of you fine folks who have read Last of the Mohicans? That's what we're talking about here.
Great movie.
Agreed. Battle Snowshoes. That's Robert's Rangers or Rogers Rangers.
Yeah, there's a game just on that, I think, isn't there?
There's a game that features this on the cover called A Few Acres of Snow. It might be just featured on this.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
I'm not sure. Carillion, so Fort Carillion or Fort Ticonderoga, as it was later renamed by the British. There you go. Plains of Abraham. I think that's also known as Quebec City. But yeah, so this is pretty exclusively. This is the big open field battle.
Right.
And then we got Battle of Saint Foy, which was the following year.
That's
Outside
101st Airborne,
right? Yeah, you know it's Dick Winters. So this is September 1759. This is April 1760. So this is the French coming back. But yeah, so there's 12. Oh, I'm sorry, and then Bushy Run. So all the way at the end, and again, Western Pennsylvania, Jeffrey.
I'll be damned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now intrigued because this is just something I don't know, much about. So now, okay, so you got these two. Was that all? Is that the only roads you went down for the French and Indian War in your latest purchase?
Yes.
Okay.
I think these are actually the only French and Indian War games.
Now we're going to have to dig up some more for you because it seems to me like this appeals to you really strongly.
So I really do enjoy the French and Indian War. When I do any sort of reenacting, it's this period. It's really cool. It's fun. It's good times. Yeah, it's fun stuff.
What about miniature stuff? Do you have any miniatures to match that stuff up with?
I do.
And have you played anything to match that stuff up with?
I have.
And what'd you play?
A number of Colonial Rangers going towards Fort Amherstburg type stuff.
In whose system?
I played a small bit of Black Powder, which was not that fun. I played some Fistful of Lead. I played some Song of Drums and Tomahawks. Those three systems might be about it, to be honest with you.
Right. How about Chris? How about you? You ever gone down that road?
No.
Not your thing?
Well,
no water, no chips?
I've French and Indian. I've played with Chris Clucky's 54mm stuff, but
I remember seeing pictures of that, of a table with that Chris Clucky stuff on it. Looked really, really good.
Yeah.
No, it's beyond really good. It is by far the best table I've ever played on. Any table by Chris Clucky is the best table I've ever played on.
Yeah, I got to admit, the pictures I saw were really, really, really good. I was like, wow.
The miniatures are really stunning. They're huge. They're really well painted.
Right.
But that's why I don't touch them, because I don't want to trade in my car if I break one.
All right, so Dev, if you find any free ones in the warehouse, you just send it to me because he don't need it.
It's fair.
So I'll have to get them. All right, so I'm going to break from you for a second, and I'm going to show something.
You should
I know you got a couple more items laying around here, don't you?
I do. I have one that I feel like is going to tie in pretty closely to what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's change views here. All right, so we're making a little trade between me and McMurray and Toddley Wardrobe, because we've all got, between the three of us, we each have games that one or the other of us wants to play and will play, and some of us have games that we probably won't get to play. So Rich was kind enough a while back to send me the expansion for Killing Ground called Cobra, and I sent that to I'm sending that out there to them, and they are sending me what I'm about to show you right here. And I'm gonna tell you what, this box, I ain't got it on my screen yet, but this game was made in, I don't see any date, but it's Excalibur Games, and for some reason this thing looks stinking brand new. But let me turn my camera over to it. So, and Todd never punched this thing, and I guess he decided he was never going to get to it, so he sent it off to me.
Oh, it's Todd's game that you're looking at. Okay. Okay.
The other one's over here too. So the Battle for Stalingrad by Excalibur Games, and of course my question was, of course I'm playing Kursk right now, so my question to him was, is it hex encounter? Because why would I play anything else? But
Jeff only plays area movement games now.
It's like a new game. 2 big opaque or transparent blue and red dice. Hey, McMurray, look. Baggies. You could use those, buddy. We don't want to see that picture. Nobody likes him. All right. Okay. Here we go. Shiny paper rule book, single column, small print. It doesn't bother me, but I like to highlight stuff. So I'll probably see if I can't dig this up anywhere. Let's see here. We've got, rules and notes. Well, actually, you know what? Rules only go, looks like, to the top of page 34.
There's only 34 pages of rules.
Yeah, single column. So that won't be too bad. And then it goes designer's notes, and it looks like, I'm not even seeing scenarios unless those are how they're listing them. But you get all the way to, or maybe this other book here is for. No, it's a rule supplement. I guess it's all tactical tips. And yeah, here we go. Tactics and stuff, how to use this stuff. Let's see. This is designed by John Hill. The systems and graphics, Raymond.
They sent you that because they know you don't know anything about World War II.
Robert Moisman, John Butterfield. He was the developer for this thing. There's a lot of names in here, actually, I recognize, and quite a few I don't, actually. I'm looking to see if any of you viewers out there are part of this stuff. Charts, train effects, and combat results on the back, and I'm sure this is going to be either step loss or strength point loss. And then there is, he even sent me the order manual. So this price list came out in 2011. I still don't see a date on when this game was. Look in the book here. Yeah, I got it here. Let's look in the book. First page. Where you at, buddy? 2007 is what the rules say. Man, this thing looks brand stinking new. I'm telling you right now. Rule supplement and game analysis. It looks rather thick too. This thing has, this has another 30-some pages of stuff. Errata. It's always interesting how people talk about when you get a game, the errata is in the game. Originally published. So, all right. So, Joe, this was a remake or just a republished from the original SPI Stalingrad? That's interesting. All right. Let's see. We got, I recognize. It's funny, a lot of these older Eastern Front World War II games, you get these the display charts, reinforcement displays and stuff like that. Not in color.
I found one of our viewers, Jeffrey.
And which one?
In Bloody Mohawk. His name's all over this thing.
The OG?
No.
Who?
Mo.
Mo's in there?
Maurice Fitzgerald, right?
I know that.
Yeah. He's littered through this thing like he's...
And nice, shiny half-inch counters. So, you haven't even seen it yet. So when I look at these, granted they're not exactly like it, but I immediately think of A Victory Awaits that you're going to be playing with, originally published in 1980, which is that Kursk game I'm playing was 1980. That when you and Todd get around to, I'm more pumped about you guys playing that Victory Awaits than me playing anything else.
So am I, except for I don't know when the hell Todd's going to want to play.
Yeah, I know. Well, I hope he figures it out soon because I think that's going to be a good one for you all to watch. So these are pretty simple. I'm going to assume attack, defense, and movement. Same on the back. And these counters look, they're all the information is good and centered on them, and that's a feat in itself. Of course, naturally, there's always more Soviet counters than there are Germans in any of these things. But I'm just curious. Oh man, I don't even. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's some Soviet armor. Let's find some German armor here. I'm not seeing them. Some reconnaissance stuff.
Yeah, neither were the Soviets.
A bunch of sixes, and the Soviets are a bunch of 1 strength stuff. So I'm sure that the armor in this type of game, bunch of 2s, have probably some kind of a performance rating type thing. Get that out of the way. And let's take a look. Here we go. Additional counters. Miscellaneous. Battle for Stalingrad. Todd is always good about getting all the additionals that go for a game. So, oh man, what a gorgeous looking map. It's a shiny map, but it's gorgeous. Shiny map of Stalingrad. You can't beat. This is a good looking map. I mean, it's not.
That is a pretty good looking map.
Woods are wood. See, there's a lot of gorgeous maps. That all the GBACW and the GCACW maps are gorgeous. You know what? I don't know, Nord. I'm gonna have to do some digging on this. When I get into the rules, I'll.
That is a good looking map.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I should look at that earlier. Yeah, it is. But when I see maps like this, I think of like this Kursk map sitting behind me, the Drive on Stalingrad map. They didn't kill it. You can see everything easily. So, and I like that. This might be a little difficult here too. Let's see. Now, most games will start with here map 1942. Nope, doesn't say. Each hexagon on the map. Nope. Doesn't say what the distance is. But it looks like most of the units are battalion and companies.
So it's tactical then.
Gotta be. Well, yeah, we consider World War II tactical for, yeah.
I'm just giving you trouble.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not far from it. Not squad leader type tactical, but you're dealing with the whole
Call
city.
it grand tactical. How about that?
Yeah, like that stuff Todd's playing right now. Battle for the city at battalion scale, same scale. And I have Turning Point Stalingrad up in my closet there too.
I need to
that one
before Todd and I get set up in the garage. I need to play. Oh geez, what is it? Storm over Stalingrad. Well, I got that table cleaned off because the maps are like 5 feet long. It's like a single map thickness, or like a single sheet of paper thickness, but it's like 5 feet long.
The storm over Stalingrad?
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually just a single sheet of paper thickness, but yeah, it's like 4.5, 5 feet long.
Right.
It's too long for me to fit on my table here.
All right, I'm going to show one more thing here, and I'm going to tell you, I haven't told you all the whole story about this.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
This one will freak you out. My girls bought this for me.
Uh-oh. No, Jeff.
Not a game.
You're going to get yourself unmonetized.
You guys have already seen it.
You're going to get thrown off of YouTube. I know, but you showed us that on your members only. Oh, wait, your girls got you that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, geez.
What? Get out of town. I need girls.
Dog, right?
Isn't that freaking awesome?
Yeah.
So.
What the hell?
They love you.
They got sisters and stuff that aren't that smart and have low standards?
Well, they know what I mess with. Now, I haven't messed with them yet, but I just realized something. Now I got to do all my recolor mixes.
Yep, you just figured out all those mixes.
Nord, it's Excalibur games, buddy. All right, so I'll save that last one, and I'm going to flip it back over to you.
Oh, back to me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Because you've already done this last one anyhow, so.
I have.
Nord, I'll look through the thing and see if I can't figure out. I didn't see it on the map, but I'll look through and see what the scheme is.
We're just going to zoom forward in time. Oh, yeah, I dropped my thing all the way down. Hang on.
There we go. And didn't you say there's two? You got two in here?
You'll see. Okay, so C3I Gettysburg. Right, so this is the fancy pants Box edition.
Run your hand in front of your camera. There we go. That looks good. Okay.
Is it not focusing?
It wasn't, but it's good now.
Okay. So there we go. Yeah, so we got rulebook, player aid, map. Again, I know this is supposed to be just obnoxiously simple. The map is quite obviously ripped off of the Warren map. It looks really good. Look, there's Jeff. Look how many turns there are in this whole Gettysburg game. 6.
Yeah.
Morning night.
Joe, was it you did it? Stuka Joe, did you do a video playing this, or was somebody else that did it?
But it's a Mark Herman game, Jeff. So,
yeah.
That being said, so we got again those 3 chunks there. Rulebook, player aid. Player aid looks pretty good actually. In terms of it looks simple. Oh, it's got the battle board for Pendragon on the back of it. But there we go. So this is obviously out of the magazine. But yeah, so pretty simple. This ought to be entertaining to play. Then I have, what do you know? A rule book, a player aid. That one is obviously from the deluxe edition, right? And a map.
No way.
And then I have a strategy guide, I would assume out of this deluxe edition. So that's got all kinds of extra stuff in it. It talks about, Jeff and cool. There you go. There's Avalon Hill.
The 58. Yeah.
What?
1958 or 1959 version.
Oh yeah, real early. 58. Yep. That's the square one. But yeah, so you got all kinds of stuff in here. Just talking about everything. There's my man right there. My man Dan with 3 core. Hell yeah.
You got there's a channel called Addressing Gettysburg. They're up in Gettysburg. They have a podcast. And every year they do the 3 days. And I'm telling you, they do these 2 to 3 hour podcasts. And I said at work the other night, I listened to one of their July 2nd ones. And the tour guide, the licensed battlefield tour guide that was on there, he has the same opinion of Dan Sickles that you and I do.
Is that Matt Atkinson or what?
No, not Matt Atkinson. I don't think he's been on there. Yeah,
okay.
I can't remember what the guy's name is, but it wouldn't be hard to find it. It's the one they did like last year or 2 years ago.
There's a mounted map port.
So, wait a minute. 3 maps now?
Yeah, this one's mounted. So it's...
All right.
Then there's 2 sets of counters.
Wow.
Obviously, again, one from the deluxe edition, one from the magazine edition. And then the dude threw in all the other counters from that issue of C3I magazine.
Wow.
And then a couple of dice.
So dice.
Pretty slick.
Got a little more.
This one, actually, a dude sent, all I had to do was pay shipping. He had a bunch of games. He said he'd already played or wasn't going to play, what have you. And, just somebody pay him shipping. They'll send it to you. I didn't know there were 2 copies. I thought I was just going to get the, a baggie of counters and then basically these 3 things. And then he sent this whole pile of stuff. So that was pretty awesome. Doug Gearhart, if you ever see this, you're the man.
You got that from DUG?
From who?
Dougie Gearhart?
Yep.
Get out of here.
Yep.
He's a good fella. He sent me a free game a while back, a Cedar Creek game from Victus a long time ago.
Absolutely.
I sent him Civil War from Victory Games, and he sent me that.
Yeah, he had all kinds of games. This was the one that looked fun for me, so I grabbed it. And that, again, should be pretty outstanding. I'm looking forward to playing this. I didn't get it. I kind of got that strategy and tactics, this thing, and Bloody Mohawk all kind of in one slew. So I set up and I punched. I clipped all this. I clipped and punched that strategy and tactics and got it set up. I had to work a few days. And then I got Bloody Mohawk, so I punched that out real quick and I played the hell out of that because I figured that wasn't going to take me very long to play a game of it. And I was correct on that one. Good game, but didn't take me very long. And then moving forwards into American history.
You brought in a buttload this time, I think.
Moving forwards into American history, I actually just took the plastic off of this guy. So I don't know if it was on your channel or Todd's channel, we unboxed a different album game. But these are old Yakinto album games, blatantly obviously designed to sit on like a shelf that's for records.
Right.
Right. And so let's crack this bad boy open. Like I said, I just took the plastic off this one.
John Wayne and Burt Lancaster on the cover.
Yeah, dog, you know it. You know it. Chato's land, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we got the man himself. But, yeah, so you gaze out at the land that was once yours. It's now filled with white men's towns, long knives, forts, and the tracks of the iron horse. You raise your hand to your solemn face. With 3 quick strokes, you smear the paint as your ancestors did. Today, your war party will strike. You will strike because you're insulted. You have been cheated. You are Apache. But yeah, so let's open this thing up. That should be pretty slick. So as usual, we got, oh God. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's right. This is completely unopened. So we got the insert. Sweet, cool. A die. Couple of baggies. Counters. Wowza. There is not a single statistic on these counters. Looks like you got farmsteads, some dummy counters, some Indian villages. Don't know what those are.
That's a Yaquinto game.
It is.
Yeah, Yaquinto, stupid.
It is. No idea what these are. Again, looks like maybe some towns, stockades, railroads, stagecoaches, wagon trains, and then something. I don't know. Wow. There's not a single statistic on any of these or a single label on any of these other than dummy. So let's see here. Oh, there's the album games. A whole list of them. Some of these look really cool, and those ones are really expensive.
The only one, like I said, I had 88 and I had Legion or Legionnaire or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Those obviously came out after this guy because those aren't on here. But yeah, like I really want to play Swashbuckler. That looks like fun. And then there's a couple other ones. I don't know what they are, but
for that one next.
Hey, there's Ironclads. Jeffy's gonna play those. Rich sent me those.
There's 88 right there.
Where?
Second column, all the way to the right.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. Oh
and
man, look at that.
The game I'm talking about.
Sword in the Flame, baby.
Yeah. The
Sword
Legion game might not be called Legion, but it was about the French Foreign Legion.
Oh yeah, there is one about the French Foreign Legion. There is. But yeah, look at that. Sword in the Flame. That's pretty slick. I didn't know that Yakinto sold that.
Yeah, and they weren't killer games to learn either, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for on these because I'm not that smart. But anyway, okay. So there's our counters. Our little guy there. We got looks like cards. Hang on.
Uh-oh. Is that a game breaker for you?
No, I don't know what the hell these are. Oh, they're event cards. Or cards. Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to look at that. I don't know. So that's pretty cool.
What's a couple of the events?
Here's Firewater. Firewater sends a war party on a drunken rampage. Roll the die. A high roll to determine which party. Loser turns over his real war party counter and may not move this turn. If attacked, it defends at half strength. It may not attack this turn. We're going to ignore that one. Visitors from space.
Oh my
UFOs land in one Indian camp. High roll a die to determine aliens bestow true fire sticks on the lucky braves, lasers.
He'll
This
be playing that
triples
tonight.
this Indian player's combat factor for this in the next 2 turns. This game just got a whole lot fucking cooler because you can have Indians with friggin' laser beams.
Sharks with laser beams.
Yeah. Wow. Blonde and blue eyes, Melissa and Amy, daughters of the regimental commander, and its mascots are kidnapped by Indians. All cavalry units double their combat factors for this in the next 2 turns. This doubling is before the addition of any combat factors from a cavalry commander counter. So this is already going to get zany. Mainly because you can have Indians with freaking laser beams.
You'll have this played before sunrise.
Holy shit. Absolutely, dog. You can have Indians with lasers. All right. Well, this just moved to the top of the list. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we got our rule book, as always. Nice little compact rule book. So, yeah, it looks like we've got 4 Indian war parties total, and then a bunch of dummy markers in that stack. This looks like maybe 2 or 3 one big Avalon Hill fold out rule sheet worth of rules. So that's pretty slick. Again, I kind of wish that this page was separate, but that's okay. And then we have a map. I don't know how much of this is historically accurate, but given that we've got, I'm going to go ahead and say that probably not a lot of this is, because we've got Peaks Pike, Andy's Stream, and the Palahale Trail.
And the Big Bend River.
Yeah. Dead Man's Ford, Mitchell Island's Whiskey River, Easy Ford, Carwa's Cavern, the Glip. We got the Glip Gap. So, that looks pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. Oh, and most importantly for 1981, we have Gerald's Ford. So we got that going for us.
I love those maps like that, though. That's so good.
Right.
Creativity.
It reminds me of Blitzkrieg with the Great Koufax Desert.
Desert, yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, between the Gerald Ford and Indians with freaking laser beams attached to their heads, well, this just jumped to the next game on the table. Strategy and Tactics 340 being very serious is going to have to wait. Yeah, dude. All right. So that is right there. Apache's at the top of the list. We also picked up, like I said, I think on one of the 2 channels, we unboxed Battle.
Battle.
I don't remember which one it was. I think it was probably Todd's channel.
The Milton Bradley game Battle?
No, the album game Battle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. All right.
But then I also picked up from the album game series, The Fall of South Vietnam.
Sawyer, how you doing, brother?
Which is pretty awkward because they were definitely making this game like 5 years after.
This is your Quinto too, right?
This happened. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, they had some great game ideas.
This is completely unopened also.
Yeah.
Or unpunched and everything. So we've got all kinds of Arvin. Like I said, I think actually this is only Arvin and NVA for the most part. It is. There's no US here, which makes sense because it's 73 to 75. But so there we go. Here's the map. You can see where we've got South Vietnam here. There's the DMZ. Got game turns being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, from summer 73 to spring of 75 when Saigon ultimately fell. We got all the important stuff on here. We got the different provinces labeled, as well as then we got obviously the Delta down here. We got a combat results, real simple. Availability for the North Vietnamese. We have desertion, Yikes. As well as the CRT and availability for the South Vietnamese over here. All right. As well as kind of air staging, which is pretty cool. You can see where we've got entry areas for what I would assume would be the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That's pretty slick. Where the hell's my rule book? You got to be shitting me. Oh, okay. Thank God. I was about to say, if there's no rule book in here, I'm going to be a real sad boy. Big rule book this time. Again, looks pretty simple. Should be pretty fun. Looks like everything. We got armored regiments and infantry divisions.
That's the rule books, the type rule books from them that I remember is that 3-column, big wide page.
Yeah, this is pretty outstanding. I'm a fan. Again, there's more stuff on here, which is kind of nice. You do have some very short designer notes.
Who designed it?
And credits. Neil Zimmerer. Rules by Michael S. Matheny.
With Mike Matheny. Okay.
Not the catcher.
No.
But yeah.
I tell you, I don't know of any other company that did games like this where you open the box, there's your map. At least I can't put one on. There's not one on the tip of my tongue.
I mean, it's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. Again, it's pretty cool to see something that's this much a product of its period in terms of just look at the damn boxes.
Yeah. Well, now the old so some of the original SPI stuff came in fold out boxes like that, but the maps weren't inset. You pulled them out of the side.
Yeah.
These have. Where's the interior box to this? Flip it.
So
Let me see
in
the
these,
face. See the face
you put all your game pieces in here.
in the slots, right? Okay.
Yeah. They open up right here, and then this piece slides into. Come on. Right in the slot. Slides in here.
Right.
Folds down.
Put them up on a bookshelf, like a music album.
Right on there like a record. Yep. So I got 3 of these things now. They're coming up one at a time on the used shelves at my local gaming store.
Right.
And I'm hoping I'm seeing them and grabbing them. And there's not somebody walking through and vulturing the really awesome ones that I'm looking for. I'm excited that I got these ones. But there's a couple that I'm really, really excited for. Like I said, if Swashbuckler comes up, I'd like to grab that one. There's a couple others. But yeah, so those are kind of my biggest ones that I've picked up recently, although there is one more. It's pretty far from what your channel's used to, though, Jeff.
Right. This is all about you.
It's an old TSR game. You sure?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Knights of Camelot by TSR.
It's a board game.
It is. Kind of.
Wait a minute. What's the other one? You bought another one like this here, too, just a couple weeks back.
No, I've had a different one from TSR called Lakmar for quite a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was painting earlier tonight, Brian.
It feels like halfway between like a hex encounter game.
You do it. I'm going to run the use little boys room. Chris can moderate.
Okay. And a halfway to like a role-playing game. So kind of a Euro game sort of thing. And I don't know how well it's going to play solo, but at some point in time, we'll try and figure it out. That, or I might just have to wind up playing it with Todd, because you got random encounters and stuff and all kinds of whatnots. But yeah, again, it's TSR. You can see that there's the rest of the counters that weren't pulled off the counter sheet. The map is pretty simple. Pretty cool looking, though. Again, you got a semi-fanciful interpretation of Great Britain. But still pretty cool, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's random stuff. You got all this. It looks a whole lot more RPG-like than, again, Lakmar, which is what I was looking at playing before. Still probably going to play it before this. This, like I said, really looks like the sort of thing that I will probably need at least one other person to play. But
Camp Sawyer says plays good solo, but make sure you have all the cards. TSR was had problems with QC on this one. Many games missed cards.
oh no. Well, hopefully there's a list of them on Board Game Geek or something, because there's a shitload of them, or there's a bunch of them in here. Looks like we got some knight cards, some king cards. Oh yeah, absolutely. And ladies. So we've got a lot of cards. I'm not sure. Again, we'll have to read through the rules to figure out how those work, and what goes down. But there are a piss load of cards in here.
It's funny to me because when I know that. Okay, so when the company TSR, when I hear it, I associate two things with it, and I find that it's amusing. One is Dungeons and Dragons, and then the remake of Terrible Swift Sword done by them, and some of the other SPI, GBACW stuff. And it's just kind of weird to put those two together. And a lot of people don't like what they did with the pink stuff on the maps and everything, but I think it's freaking awesome because now you can tell the terrain levels and stuff in those games.
There's another TSR product over there, which is an old, I guess, TSR produced SPI Blue and the Gray.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Did we ever do that? Did we ever go through that thing? I can't remember.
I don't know if we went through the TSR one that I got, the SPI one that I got, but we have gone through through the Decision one, and I've played, I think, 3 out of the 4.
Well, when did you get the TSR one?
I don't know. Here, let me grab it.
Yeah, because I'm curious now if it's TSR's Blue and the Gray, because that's one I missed. Oh, no, I remember now. I remember the box. Yeah, I remember the box cover now from that game. Which ones that had? That Shiloh, Antietam, Cemetery Hill, and Chickamauga now.
Yeah, just like the SPI one did.
Right.
So it says TSR, Products of Your Imagination, SPI, Blue and Gray, and Products of Your Imagination are owned by TSR.
Right.
You see
Yeah,
SPI
TSR picked them up when they went under. So.
Yeah.
And then I think Decision Games grabbed everything up after TSR, I guess, went by. So who's D&D done by now? Who's AD&D done by now?
Wizards of the Coast, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. I hear everybody's still upset about that right now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, TSR is now owned by Wizards of the Coast.
Interesting.
I think.
I mean, McMurray, you have grabbed a lot of stuff. See, Chris, you've got U.S. Civil War sitting up over there to your left, I believe, right now.
Yep.
And how are you digging into that, or are you making any progression? I mean, I know you're probably not playing yet, but
I'm still wrapping my brain around the rules. I'm doing the second scenario, which is 1862, and it has me starting in the action phase. The first turn, winner of turn 4 is when it's got me starting. It goes for 5 turns, and it starts with the action phase right off the bat. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that figured out. But yeah, I want to like it.
Right, I got you.
I probably will once I get it figured out. It's kind of like Salerno 43 was.
Jeff.
Right.
It took me a while to get into it, but once I got into it, I enjoyed it.
Jeff, you want to talk about this one? Or
yeah,
I want to do a separate video.
Here, we'll do that in just a minute.
Okay.
I do want to talk about that one.
Okay.
So, how far, Chris, do you think you're away from throwing counters around on that thing?
This week.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
But quit talking about Picacho Peak. I'm ready to play. That's the one.
Stop talking about. Start being about it.
Yeah, the zombicide stuff's awesome, but you know me. Me, on the other hand, I told y'all the other night that I'm going to be going freaking hog wild for lock and load here for a while. As soon as I finish Kursk, some lock and load tacticals going on that table. Now, this just came up to me from Jester just a few days back.
What is that?
This is the Napoleonic game. This is the pre-production from that. And I'm going to, okay, so, and this, Devin, if you're still here, this will give you an idea of what I'm doing.
This is how you know Jeff's important. Only he and Kev have a copy of that.
Oh, yeah. So this is in their rule book. They've got an example of play. And you can just look at the rule book. It's like maybe 2 pages. And they do your walkthrough using the solo assistant that, of course, Lock and Load has everything built into their games. And they have cards for all that stuff, for the solo stuff, which is really, really cool because sometimes playing these games 2-player, especially when you're playing a game like this, you can see everything that's happening. All right. So you adjust for it. Well, playing against a bot, and I'm going to do it with this game because it's going to be interesting. So I've read 95% of the rules and highlighted everything in the soldiers game so far. They have 3. This is like that Gettysburg game, that Avalon Hill 77 Gettysburg game with basic, medium, and advanced. This one has soldier, battalion, and brigade games is what they're called. And the rules get more in depth with each one. But I'm going to start with the soldiers game. And I set the counters up like the play example that's in the book. And then I'm going to fight this thing using the soldiers game rules. And I guess I'm going to play the defense as Wellington and use the cards and the bot to play the French. So, and see how that works out. But I'm just about the point, maybe by tomorrow or probably in the middle of this coming week, I'm going to start actually pushing these counters around under my own humanly power and stuff. And I'm really looking forward to getting this. Getting this played. And in the meantime, this damn Kursk game, which is, I'm not going to lie to you, of the games that I've played over the few years, the Kursk game, while the rules are not killing it, they're not extraordinarily heavy, they're unique. And then looking at the map, and sorry, I don't have a camera sitting around that table right now, but looking at the map to try to play that thing and trying to decide, oh my God, man, where am I going to move? I don't have anything to follow up with my moves to fill in the gaps. Well, you end up having to break units down, and you can only do so much of that. And then, trying to push panzers into the pocket. So I played the first turn. I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then after the second and third turn, I was like, wait a minute, I pretty much am destroying the southern bulge or western bulge of the pocket or whatever here. Where the bulge around Kursk sticks out to the west. I pretty much crushed and cut the supply off to all those units up there. So it's changing. And a lot of comments that say don't cut it off in the middle. Wait towards the end and see what you might be able to do with the Germans. Because I'm playing the May scenario that Uncle Eric wanted to execute, and the little corporal said, no, let's wait on our new tanks to get here, and then we'll go and do it. And I asked another question about why did they even do this? And it's funny, somebody gave me the answer, and I was like, oh, yeah, I knew this. And it didn't strike me was, let's try to minimize that front, because they're, instead of having the German troops stretched out around a bulge, cut that bulge off, and that'll shorten the front and free up units for activity elsewhere, which makes.
Oh, bullshit. They were trying to mimic the victories of the encirclements during Barbarossa.
Okay.
Tell us how you really feel.
They always do that, don't they? They always
try to, yeah.
Right. But I'm having fun with it, so.
That's good.
All right, Brian. Talk to you later, buddy.
Bye-bye, guys.
Take care.
All right, hold on.
Jeff, are you going to have enough dudes left for, if you're getting all your panzers killed, are you going to have enough dudes left for Uncle Ricky's backhanded blow?
No. although, okay, so I think what I'm discovering in this game is that while the Russians have a butt ton of forces, they're not very strong on the attack. I mean,
Yeah.
I destroyed two Soviet mechanized armies already.
They're not supposed to be strong on the attack, Jeff. They're defending.
Yeah, well, but you got to remember the Orel offensive was starting too about the same time.
Well, I get that, but
and I'm doing that too right now.
Like the whole point is that Kursk was a defense in depth, such that the Germans barely got off their start line.
Well, yeah, and if I was playing the July scenario, which is when it actually went down, I would probably understand it more. But I'm not. I'm playing the May scenario, which never happened, which is before the Soviets beefed up, or the Russians.
So you're attacking without the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers aren't here yet.
I see.
All right, pull that next box you got.
Okay, are we going to do this on a reduced scale to have a full video somewhere else? Because this could be a whole video on its own, especially because it's a brand new game.
Let's unbox it.
Okay, unboxing it. Here we go.
Get after it.
Fresh from MMP, Storm Over Jerusalem. Just came out a couple weeks ago. Cool ass game. Okay, so we got counters. Each counter represents kind of a cavalry ala, an auxiliary unit of unspecified strength, or a legionary cohort. On the Jewish side, they represent, well, there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of standardized organization on the side of the defenders here at Jerusalem, so we'll call them a gaggle fuck of either light or heavy infantry. And then you have Simon Bajoris and John Ogashala as leaders here. The Romans do not have leaders. There's not a Titus counter.
Wait, did you say the Romans don't have any leaders there?
They don't have any leader counters. No.
Oh, okay.
Lots of wall status counters. You got a few siege towers, control counters to tell you what's under what control, as well as supply, trouble counters, victory point counters, and a turn counter. All kinds of different sizes, interestingly enough. But yeah, there are cards. There's Roman and Jewish cards.
Yeah, what's with you in these card games? All I used to do is hear you bitch about games.
I know. So here you've got, these are the Jewish cards. So you've got effects, and then each card for each side has a value up here. For the Jewish side, that is wall reconstruction points. And then here are the Roman cards. For the Roman card, those are siege tower construction points. So that one would get you 2 points of siege tower construction, and that would restore 3 points of wall. So they're really cool, honestly. They're a good way to add some flavor and variance to the game. And I also think that not knowing what each player had in their hand, as much as you try and ignore, okay, I shouldn't know what's in there. I don't know what's in there. That obviously gets tough. It would be cool. I want to play this with Todd in person so that we can kind of, control not knowing what's in the other guy's hand. You got 4 dice, 2 for the Romans, 2 for the Jewish player, which were both me. We'll get to the map in a moment. You've got 2 player aids. Again, pretty outstanding player aids, to be honest with you, the front and back.
So you
the
can't.
fact that they gave, what's up?
I was just saying goodnight to Camp Sawyer.
Bye, Camp Sawyer. The fact they gave you 2 of them is nice, because I just sat one this side up and one this side up over to the side over here as I was playing, which was pretty slick. There's the other one. You've got, so this is out of the IGS series. I don't know why it's out of the IGS series, because I'm pretty sure it was made by an American guy, Scott Blanton. But whatever. I know that the original Storm Over series was IGS. I think Star Wars Stalingrad is made by a Japanese dude. I don't know about Arnhem and Normandy. You have rulebook again. It's big font, surprisingly big font. So that it's a thicker rulebook than you normally see me playing, but it's pretty outstanding in terms of providing examples for you and everything else, while also being very, very readable. There again, you can see Simon Jorah and John of Kashala. But yeah, so designer Scott Blanton, developer Ray Farrell, map art Charlie Kibler. Yep. And there you go. He also did the counter art and layout, along with Nico Escooby. Maybe that's where they get the
Escooby, yeah, he does some good stuff. So
maybe that's where they get the international chunk here. That being said, I did notice this also as I was looking through it, is that there's already a credited Vassal module person. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, we do have some people that looked familiar here. We got Brian Jarvis. Doesn't he listen in from time to time?
Brian, yeah. Brian's one of those guys that Todd was doing all the OCS stuff with online.
Exactly. So I did notice that name stuck out to me as well. Again, rulebook is quite good. I liked it a lot. Got some spare counters. And then one thing that I was happy that MMP included for me was this blank piece of printer paper.
Yeah, you have to have. Yeah, you can't play the game without that.
I was very happy that was included. It will stay in here. That way, if I ever choose to sell the game, I can sell it as complete. But yeah, so we got that. We'll toss that and the rulebook and the player aids and the counters and the 4 dice and the cards back in there. Set that aside because this map is really pretty slick. I really like it quite a bit. Big fan.
If it's a Kibler map, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It is good enough that I took a very good look at it, and said, man, I should make this in miniature, and then realized that would be wild, but would look friggin' incredible. So it's cool to see all of these places that you've heard about in lectures and podcasts and everything else come to life, right? So whether that's the Kidron Valley, the Hinnom Valley, right? You've got all of these different places that it's awesome. Mount Scopus is up there. Gethsemmane's over here. So you got the Garden, the Serpent's Pools down here. You've got the Temple Mount, Herod's Palace, the Antonia Fortress. You've got this whole swath of New City up here that's super cool. As well as each of the kind of subdivisions here of the older city, both immediately south of the Temple Mount, the lower city itself, including the Essene Quarter. So you fall out that Essene Quarter far enough, you get to Qumran. That's pretty slick. And then obviously, again, you got the Terrapan and that chunk of the city in the north. It's super cool to see. Like I said, the map is gorgeous. Look at this thing. Inside of each of the little city sections that you see here is subdivided by these road-looking things. They did a really good job of subdividing the areas up without making it look like they're just drawing boundaries, you know?
Right.
Which is pretty cool. But you can see that there's these little sections on gates and walls that are defensive bonuses as you move through. They start out at +4 and can get knocked down to breached, where they don't give any. The differing colors on the controls here, from the orange to the yellow to the green, are just +1 if you're attacking, even if it's over a wall or the wall is breached. 2 and 3. So like if you're attacking down through the new city, you still have bonuses to your defense just because of how built up the area is, right? So you've got that in the city as well. Oh yeah, there's the garden too. So that's pretty slick. Just for those of you who are paying attention to your kind of archaeology as it runs. As well as then it's cool that you've got obviously a victory point in the Temple Mount and Herod's Palace, right? Because those are kind of the two places that Titus was looking to capture.
So I'm assuming the big red numbers or circle numbers are just to designate the zones.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct. Then you have, these little spots where you put who controls it. So obviously, if once the Romans take the Temple Mount, you put a Roman control marker there. If the Jewish defenders were to sally out and try and take some of these areas, you put that here. It is cool that they've added in that, once you get into the, southeastern portions of the area around the city, it's too hilly and mountainous and what have you for siege towers. So you got to keep your siege towers up in these areas, which is pretty cool.
Right.
In addition to, you can obviously bring them into the city once you get into the city. But in addition to these two spots that are obviously victory points, here in the Tirpaean and then down here in the lower city, you've got places that hold extra cards, which is pretty cool. We're getting a little into the we're not going to get into gameplay. I don't think we're just going to do an unboxing, but the point is, got all kinds of stuff labeled. It's an incredibly good looking map. There's a lot of info on the map, but at the same time, it's super easy to see stuff and know what you're looking at.
And you waited forever for this thing and couldn't wait. And now you're waiting for Ardennes too. What period? Nord says, I'm gathering it's early CE since I heard Romans.
Yes, it is the Jewish Revolt 6970 CE. Correct.
All right, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to kill this thing. We've been going just over an hour here. I want to just get a few things. And Murray, I knew he had a bunch of stuff to show off, and we'll get some video up between mine and Todd's channel on what he has shot.
Yeah, look for a bigger kind of walkthrough and review of this. I have played it already. I got it, punched it, clipped it, played it all right away.
All right, all you guys, thanks for joining in tonight. And we got another, me and Wardrobe and Andrew here, McMurray and Kev and Mo. We got another special we're going to do here. Haven't pinned a date yet to it, but I already have the idea. I'm not going to announce it yet, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see what we do. But thanks.
You might well announce it. You're just going to change it right beforehand and not tell us.
That's what I do.
It is.
Chris, thanks for coming on here with us tonight. Right? And make sure y'all check out Nache's stuff. Usually he does a Saturday night show, but he allowed us to have it tonight. But make sure you go to Nache's Chronicles on Wednesday, guys. Check that show out. Get over there. Tim, thanks, brother. Nord, good question tonight. Joe, Stuka Joe, thanks for being on here tonight, brother, and all the rest of y'all too. And we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.
Thanks, Dad. See
you,
you,
guys.